Hello guys, Elias here. It's been a long time since I made my last video, but now I decided to start making a series of videos about sim racing, my passion that I had since many years back, around 20 years ago. I started sim racing, and today I wanted to share with you my experience that I had throughout all these years, and it might be a simple guide for those that are also looking to join sim racing and build their first rig or enhance their existing rig. My first wheel was the Microsoft Sidewinder Precision Racing wheel, which was just a plastic wheel with 6 buttons on it and 2 pedals, gas and braking pedal. That's it. It was very basic, beginning of 2000s, and it was perfectly fine for titles such as PORSCHE Unleashed, which came from Electronic Arts, and it was in Need for Speed series. It was a separate series which I loved. That series came around 1999 or beginning of 2000s, and I was enjoying it for a couple of years, and I used this wheel with that title as my first wheel around 20 years ago. In 2010, when things got a bit more serious and actually I had more budget to spend as well, I started a new project with my buddies, and we decided to build a new rig based on Logitech G27 wheel set, which comes with a wheel, shifter, and a pedal set which has all 3 pedals. We decided to put together a rig, just weld something together, and here is the video, a low resolution video about how we were building it and what went into it. Logitech G27 as a platform itself, it is based on a gear driven motor that is not very powerful. It's around 2.3 Newton meters of power, which is plenty as your first wheel, I guess. So it has 2 motor gear driven platform. It's a bit clunky because when you reach the limit of its power, and you are reaching it quite fast, you are going to notice it because it starts clipping. So you just reach the top of it, and then you hear the noise inside the motor as well, inside the base as well. So you are going to reach the limit quite fast, but as I said, as a first platform is going to be more than fine. As always, sim racing is a black hole, so if you get into it, you are going to get evolving and spending more and more money. This is something you should consider. And around that time in 2011, Fanatec decided to make a new wheel, and it was the CSR Elite wheel, which was my second project. And within a year or so after I started my first project, we, again with my buddies, decided to put together a sturdier base so it can hold better against this more powerful base which was from Fanatec. Here is another video of me making of my rig. This wheelbase was a bit stronger, around 7 Newton meters. It was driven by a brushless motor and a belt. My goal and the reason why I went for this wheel was because I wanted to play all 3 platforms, PC, Xbox and PlayStation 3 at that time, and I just bought consoles, Xbox for Forza 4 at that time, and PlayStation for Gran Turismo 5. So considering these platforms, these titles, these are not serious titles, especially if you compare them with R-Factor, iRacing, and some other titles that are there just to simulate the whole process of racing. These titles are great fun, and this is what I was looking for, as most of you guys watching will be getting these wheels and the whole platform just to have fun, not to get too serious into this. So I was looking for something that I could have fun with it. That's why I hooked up a 5.1 system with speakers on it. I hooked up some actuators, shakers on my platform, and I was enjoying it. So I purchased my Fanatec wheel, the whole base, for around 500 euros, and then I built the rig myself, and I was happier than ever. Just playing with my friends online, enjoying my time when I got the chance, because I had a little baby at that time, so you had to cope with that. The whole setup from Fanatec, including all these actuators and amplifiers and speakers and so on, costed me 5 times more than I spent on my first Logitech setup. But again, it was totally worth it, because it provided more immersion for the money I spent, and this is what you pay in sim racing, for the immersion, for the feeling that you get out of the whole platform, not just the wheel or the sound. It's a whole, including the screen, so you should consider all that. Unfortunately, at that time Fanatec wheels were not so reliable, so my CSR Elite wheel died within a couple of weeks or month, I don't remember. It was almost a decade ago. But I have to give them the credit. It just took them a couple of weeks to replace the wheel and send me with express shipping a new one. So I was totally happy. Since then I never had problem with that platform, apart from a little bit of flex that I had on the wheel itself, but it was totally fine. So it was CSR Elite wheelbase with the wheel attached, plus ClubSport Pedals version 1, which were also a bit clumsy, had some issues with load cell, but overall, as a value, you couldn't ask for something better, especially considering the support for all 3 platforms. After a couple of years of enjoyment, I had to start traveling around the world, so due to the nature of my work, so I couldn't spend more time racing, and when I was back home I had to spend my time with the family, so I decided to sell my setup, and it took me roughly 5 to 6 years to get back to sim racing again. So this is my 3rd project, and I decided to start my new project without welding, which there is nothing wrong with welding if you have, or just putting your custom rig together. If you don't have the budget and you want to start with sim racing, go for it. Do something yourself. It's great fun spending time with your buddies, just building something. I had great fun during my first 2 projects, absolutely. So it's not just welding, and great time with friends, some beer, conversation, and then you just, enjoying the project, and that adds value to the whole thing that you are doing. So for my new 3rd project, I decided to create an 80-20 aluminum profile rig, and by looking at the internet, there were 2 companies selling sturdy setups, and the reason I went for aluminum profile is because the adjustment that you get with this platform is limitless. You can adjust everything: the seat, the pedals, the wheel mount, the screen mount can get on the rig itself, and then you can just move it back and forth depending on your height. I have even attached my computer to this rig, so it's amazing. Maybe it's aesthetically doesn't look as good as tubed and nicely done, something like from our seat. The adjustment is limited, and they are not as sturdy as aluminum frames that you get from SimLab, which was one of the first contenders it was the main source that I was looking for, because I was new to aluminum profile rigs, and there are number of different channels promoting their rigs, so I decided to go for it. And the second one I found was TrakRacer. Unfortunately, during these COVID times, it has become difficult to communicate and especially ship some of these goods, but once I decided which platform I want to go with, I sent an email, because I had some concerns, I wanted to ask something, to both SimLab and TrakRacer. SimLab never got back to me. I even called them. They told me that due to COVID situation they have limited resources, they will get back to me. and after a couple of months now that since I ordered my rig from TrakRacer, they never got back to me. So customer service is pretty important for me, and I hope just somebody from SimLab would be watching it and improve their customer service. But TrakRacer guys came back to me within a couple of hours from the moment I sent. These both companies, they are located in Netherlands, so I mean it should be, the response time should be the same in both cases. I would like to thank Johan from TrakRacer for just sorting out everything for me and being so fast, as fast as it could be, especially when it comes to shipping. I live in Cyprus. Cyprus is a small island in Mediterranean, and while it's part of European Union, it's far away from the mainland, so anything that you order here costs like a new kidney, you know. So that's with the base. When I decided regarding the frame, the rig that I would like to go with, then I had to decide about the wheel platform. I decided this time to go with direct drive wheels. The difference between the first, the gear driven, and the second belt driven platform is that direct drive is not attached, does not transfer the force feedback through any other like gears or belt. It's just a motor, and it just drives the shaft, the wheel shaft, and then you are directly connected to the wheel itself. It usually costs more, but it's much more powerful and much more precise. At least this is what we believe. This is what I believed before buying the wheel itself. And again, I decided to go with Fanatec, and the main reason is because they have the whole ecosystem. Like, there are other companies making wheels, wheelbases, pedals, shifters, and so on, like Thrustmaster does, for example. Like Logitech, they get the whole ecosystem for you, but none of these two has direct drive wheel and wheelbase. So I had to decide among these, among Fanatec, SimCube, SimExperience, for example, etc. I mean, these are the main contenders in this direct drive entry level wheels, because they cost a lot, so I had to decide which one I want to go with. With Fanatec, you get everything in one package. I got the wheelbase, wheels, couple of wheels, I got the pedals, I got the shifter, I got the handbrake, everything you want from the same platform. So you just attach everything to wheelbase and then you are ready to go. I mean, it's easier to set up. It can be challenging to set up a direct drive wheel, especially when it comes to PC. So having all these peripherals like pedals and everything just attached to the wheel makes it easier to handle. Fanatec has a great program called Fanalab, which allows you to just change everything you need and update all your peripherals using the same application, and also tweak it much easier. It's a more consumer grade product, so more people use it, and when more people use it, it means that it's more reliable, and then you get more stuff for it, and then you get more titles supporting it. For example, I play Formula 1 2020, Forza 7, Project Cars, Assetto Corsa, Dirt Rally 2. Configuring and profiling them is very seamless, and you can even get a ready-made profile from Fanatec for this. 8-9 years ago, when I went with CSR Elite, which supported all three platforms, including PlayStation and Xbox and PC, this time I had to decide whether I want to do the same or not. And this all came to titles that I wanted to play, so I had to decide whether I want to play on consoles as well. Unfortunately, PlayStation 5 cannot be found anywhere at the moment, and Gran Turismo 7, nobody knows when it's going to be released, most probably during summer 2021, but again, unknown. So I decided that I don't want a wheelbase that supports PlayStation 5 or 4, and one of the deciding factors was the screen, and I went for 49-inch ultra-wide Samsung screen, which will be arriving very soon. And PlayStation 5 does not support any other ratios, screen ratios, other than 16:9. 32:9, which is this ultra-wide screen, is not supported. So that was a drawback for me, and I decided to skip on PlayStation 5 and Gran Turismo, unfortunately. Anyway, Fanatec has three wheelbases, direct drive wheelbases that you can purchase. First one is the DD one, which is the a bit powered down version of the same wheel. DD one initially supports PC and Xbox using different wheels, but there is a version that also is supported on PlayStation 5. It's officially licensed by Sony for that, and it comes with blue colored Formula wheel. So if you want PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 support, you have to go with that wheel, because there is no other way to make these ordinary DD1 or DD2 platforms supporting PlayStation 5, even using a different wheel. I found out that many people are confused because of that, so I decided to just clear it out in this video. If you want PlayStation 5 support, you have to go with that wheel that is dedicated and licensed by Sony. And then we have DD2 Wheelbase, which is Fanatec's top of the range, and it provides the most power and flexibility when it comes to attaching different peripherals apart from the console support. These platforms comes with 5-year warranty as opposed to DD1 that is with 3-year warranty, and it also has an emergency button that kills the motor when you have emergency situations like wheel spinning, etc., when you have to kill the power, which also operates as on-off switch, which is very convenient. So if you consider 2 years warranty and the switch, which by itself is around 100 euros to purchase it separately, and the price difference of 300 euros between these two wheels, it was a no-brainer for me that DD2 is a better platform since it has better warranty, comes with a switch, and it also delivers more power, which means that you have more headroom of adjustments and tuning your wheel. Even though after a couple of weeks of driving with this wheel, I don't use more than 40-50% of its power, because it's so powerful that it's crazy. I mean, after half an hour you have sore hands, and it's like going to gym. So for this setup I decided to go with Podium 911 GT3R SUEDE wheel, which comes with Podium hub. And the difference is that there is also a version for ClubSport, and it comes with Xbox hub. So this one is a bit newer. It has a better electronics inside, as far as I know, and it's a bit sturdier. Even though I get a little bit of flex with this base when I attach the Podium hub, which with Formula V2 wheel, which I also have, I don't get any flex at all. It's rock solid, and even the flex that I get with this wheel, it's pretty limited, so it's not that noticeable. Both of these wheels are hot swap, so it means that you can just switch them while playing. You don't even have to turn off your wheelbase. For V2 I got these pedals, magnetic pedals, which is Podium advanced shifting module, and it comes separately at around 180 euros. For PORSCHE wheel I got the magnetic shifters as well, just 2 shifters. I don't need to have clutch and some other mappable buttons on this one. They are pretty easy to attach. You just pull it back and then screw it on. So apart from this wheel and the base, I also got the shifter, ClubSport V1.5 shifter, which also acts as a sequential shifter. So it's perfect when you are using your H pattern shifter. And then you just switch it to sequential shifting, which is ideal for rally driving. And I also have the handbrake too, which is also attached to my shifter. It's in rally style. I also have my shifter on left side, which is considered as the proper side by British, but because Cyprus was a British colony, so we have the same layout here as well, so I attach it the way I'm used to it. As I said, there are other brands making wheels and wheelbases, etc. You don't have to go with Fanatec. It just, for me, it was easier to decide because they have the whole ecosystem and they provide more value for the money, because as I said, sim racing can be crazy expensive. You need to properly allocate your budget, because this thing costs over 3 grand just for the wheelbase, pedals, shifters and everything, plus 1k plus for the base itself, for the rig. So it's not cheap, and you would never stop spending if you want to evolve and get better and add more stuff to your system and so on. I also added 5.1 sound system to my rig just to make the whole immersion a bit better. Actuators, the vibrators, the shakers are also coming. That will be part of my project. So if you want to follow my whatever I'm doing here, because I'm planning to make some more videos for, regarding this rig, and also review the platform itself for those who are interested in TrakRacer or aluminum profile rigs. So you can subscribe and maybe share with your friends to help me a bit with what I have going on here. So it has become a very long video, but to summarize, for those wanting to just enjoy sim racing and see how it feels to race using a wheel instead of your joysticks or your keyboards, don't overspend. Just put something together yourself. Get a table clamp, maybe get something from Logitech. They have very nice 923 I think platform. Same with Thrustmasters. They have different very nice setups starting from 300 to 500 euros. Don't overspend. See how it goes. Enjoy it with entry-level models from Logitech or Thrustmasters, and even Fanatec has CSL Elite Wheelbase, which is also gear-driven, and you are going to enjoy it. Believe me, you are going to enjoy it, and it's going to be a huge step from going from joystick to a gear-driven wheel, compared from going from gear-driven wheel to direct drive wheel. I mean, there is no such huge difference. I wouldn't say that I've become faster just going from belt-driven or gear-driven to this. It's just a bit more precise. Maybe you become more consistent with your lap times and so on, and you enjoy more powerful wheel. That's true. For those that had a gear-driven wheel, which for example like me having G27 from Logitech, and if you want to enhance, I definitely suggest, if you have the extra budget, to go with Fanatec ClubSport Wheelbase 2.5 or whichever they have at the moment of you watching this video, because it's belt-driven motor, it's stronger twice. So gear-driven are around 3 Newton meter. Belt-driven motors from Fanatec, they are around 7-8 Newton meters, so it's over 2 times the power, which you are going to notice at this level. I mean, you are going to use the whole power of it, so you definitely go with a belt-driven wheel. It's going to be stronger, it's built better, it's smoother because it doesn't have the gears, so there is no clunkiness to that wheelbase, and there is no alternative to that wheelbase, because I haven't seen anyone else making same type of wheels which are belt-driven, which are so nicely built, and you can also enter the ecosystem, so you can buy everything from the same company. So ClubSport Wheelbase version 2.5, they have all these wheels that you've seen with here. They have the same PORSCHE wheel for ClubSport Wheelbase. They have the same V2 Formula wheel and tons of options, especially if you go with Xbox hub, that with their Fanatec hub, that you can attach any type of wheel you want to that hub. But those of you guys who want the ultimate experience, for those that have, like me, saved the money, just go with direct drive. It's a different experience, it's a different level, it's so strong, it's so precise. I mean, there is nothing like it's a different level of experience of, when you go with sim racing. It provides you with instant torque, it provides you with precision that you would never get with gear driven. If you are a professional sim racer, this is definitely the platform to go with. It's amazing, and it's ultimate experience. It's hard to transfer it through a video, but it's something that you should have try for yourself. If you have a buddy or somebody that has direct drive wheel, just try it first. But I'm telling you, it's the way to go if money is not an issue and if you want the best of the best. There is just one thing with direct drive wheels, is that you need to get the sturdiest setup that you can get. This is one of the reasons why I went this aluminum frame, because this one is rock solid. So no torque is lost from the wheel to shaking your wheel rig or your tube setup or whatever that you attach it to. It has to be rock solid, so there is a point in buying direct drive wheel. Otherwise you would be wasting just your money and the power of the wheel, and the experience is not going to be that nice. In the end, it all comes to your personal preference and first of all your budget, of course. You just can throw money in and just get better, get motion rigs, get actuators, get better sound system, get better triple screen setups, VR, which I'm personally, if I'm not happy with 49-inch ultra wide screen, I'm also planning to go with VR setup. So this is something that you can come back and see this channel at the later stage, maybe if I add VR to it. And I would like to also thank my wife for supporting me all these years. Sim racing is not something that is useful in household, or that just, you know, you spend time away from family when you are sim racing or building and so on. So I'd like to thank her for supporting me all these years. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope to see you again soon, and goodbye for now.